Alright. Hello,
Oh
my
there, thy sirs
lasses
and thy
and my
lasses.
lasses. Two
Two
kings
kings
here.
here. Red? It's been a while.
Blue?
Been a very long time since I've been back
Yeah,
on this
yeah,
channel.
God, it's
Like,
been
I
a
think
while.
it's been a year or two since I've appeared.
When's the last time you've seen our faces on the same screen?
Yeah, that's true. And today we bring you here with Emily, who is my girlfriend, and Rexers, also known as Rob, who is one of our greatest fans ever. Um, and and the other person, don't worry about him. He's just in the chat muted because he's grabbing food. But he's also Ryan. He plays little Vanguard here and there when we force him to. And today we're going to be talking about, as you can see on my screen, Vanguard Overdress, the D series that has just been recently leaked and going to be coming out soon. I know little tad bits here and there of it. I've been kind of keeping away from it. Um, I still don't know how I feel from what I've heard from it. Blue has more information on it because he's been diving in a lot more into it. I've been more focusing on like more Magic terms rather than Vanguard, but still, this is the Vanguard episode. So if you guys want us to talk more about Magic and the decks that we play, we're more than happy to do that for you guys as well. If you guys like videos like this, please tell us and we'll do more. Other than that, we'll start it off on how it all started. So Blue, take it away.
All right, so long ago, back when I was a little baby Blue, I lived in the state of Georgia at this time, and I remember just chilling in my room, minding my own business, and scrolling through YouTube because that was my like go-to for anime at the time. And I remember seeing Card Fight Vanguard, and I was like, "All right, what's this? I like the animation style." So I clicked on it. And this was the time when only the first 3 episodes were out. So I watched all 3 episodes in like just in one go, and I was searching everywhere for episode 4. Very salty that there was no episode 4, but the anime, had such an impact that I remembered everything that happened in the anime for the longest time. So then what happens is I moved to Mississippi, and when I got to Mississippi, some time passed, and one of my friends, he came over, and he was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Vanguard?" And I just kind of looked at him and was like, I know this word. So he brings out these Vanguard decks, right? And the decks were the Liberators and the very first, or the second trial deck, TDO2, Dragonic Overlord. And I remember we immediately started playing. Like, I remembered all the rules and such. And in fact, I love the game so much that he was a broski. And excuse the fact that they're not in sleeves, but honestly, like, I played this deck as a kid, and I would keep them to the side. Yeah, they're not sleeved, but this will always be one of my favorite decks. But I still have the Liberator deck, and it is definitely battered and damaged at this point from all the years of playing it as a kid. And yeah, that was my introduction to the card game. And then some time passed, and I finally find myself in Illinois. And Rex, I will pass it to you from there.
So, those of you who do still watch the channel know that Brandon and I have been friends since sophomore year of high school. Um, and how I got into card games in general was Vanguard was actually the reason why I got into card games. So how it happened was I am a very, very still to this day, a very big League of Legends player. And I remember I was in the middle of a game with my other buddy. His name was Tommy. And me and him were both playing. I was playing Lucian, and I think he was playing Ari or something like that, if I remember correctly. And I'm playing, and Brandon's over. He's like, "Yo, I want you to learn this game." I'm like, "After this game, I'll do it." He's like, "No, no, no, I want you to learn now." I was like, "No, I'm doing it after this game. I'll do it." And he goes, "No, you've been saying that for the past couple months. Like, no, you're gonna learn now." So he dragged me off of my game. Mind you, I'm still in the middle of the game. I was like, "Fine, fuck it, sure, why not?" show me what it is. Show me what it is. So in the middle of the game, I'm kind of going back and forth, you know, learning it. He's teaching me like what ride and all this and what shields do and everything. And then we play the first round
with this deck. This is the deck he was using.
Actually, no, it was the starter decks. It wasn't that. It wasn't until after.
Oh yeah. No. It was first with the the pre-decks, like the literal first two half
40
decks.
card decks. Like, I was playing with those. The cards don't even have any skills. Like, that's what it was. It was only grade 1, 2, 3, 10k shield, 5k shield. That was it. Nothing else.
Oh yeah.
And
back in the good old days.
And so I'm in the middle of the game, and all of a sudden I go, you know what? I left the game. And my buddy's like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, I want to play more. Like, I want to learn more now. I want to know I want to know how to play this game. It intrigued me. And I have been playing since then. I started off with the Trial deck Revenger Shadow Paladin deck. That was my first ever deck I started off learning with. But then I got taught with my favorite, till this day, my favorite deck of all time, even though a lot of people hate it. I still love it to death because it's my favorite clan of the game. It is going to be Link Joker. Not just any Link Joker, it's going to be Starvader Link Joker. And I started with Starvader Drum Stadium. And that was my first limit break. That wasn't even with Chaos Breaker yet. I didn't even get Chaos Breaker yet until I pulled it out of a last pack out of the set that it was in.
This is his first time opening Vanguard packs too.
First time opening Vanguard packs. My last pack I pulled my Chaos Breaker. But ever since then, like, Link Joker still to this day. Like, I have it built, everything still. It's not up to date, up to date, but it's still like, I still love that deck so much. And then after a couple years after the learning and everything, Brandon and I had a little falling out. You know, that stuff happens, drama happens. There was a period of time where, from junior year to senior year, Brandon and I didn't talk to each other for a decent amount of time. So through that time, sophomore year summer, I met somebody at airsofting, which I thought I wasn't gonna like, because the first thing I see is this big old man walking up to me with a cigarette in his mouth. He goes, "Yo, what's up?" Till this day, now he's one of my best friends. And I
hi, that's me.
Yeah.
Hi, that's me.
I think it was like 2 weeks after we first met. We actually got to hang out by ourselves with another one of our friends named Brady and Noah. And Rob saw us playing, and he's like, "Yo, what is this?" And right when he said, "Yo, what is this?" that's when I was like, "Oh, cool. Awesome, let me teach you really quick." And I went back to back, just teaching him, Noah, and Brady how to play this game. And I think you started, I think this is when you will have to explain, I forgot what deck I taught you with. But that's when you
oh my god, the deck, so you definitely taught me, I was using a very base Alfred deck while you were showing off your up-and-coming, soon-to-be Starvader Blaster Joker deck.
My Seeker deck.
Yeah, your Seeker deck. That's what I was using. And
yo, that deck was my baby.
Yeah,
that fucking Seeker deck. That Seeker deck gave Rex nightmares the first time I got that deck.
That was not fun getting that.
The hell is a Legion? I'm like, sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Let me show you what Legion is really quick.
Yeah, so, I was learning on that, and that night we easily played over 20 games, starting at the base, just, alright, here's how you play, all the way to, okay, here's the direct interaction between these two skills, in between these two specific decks, and the next day I'm sure we got up early and then just continued playing Vanguard, because, that was a lot. That's what had happened a lot. Alright. So after introduction, I got introduced after after Limit Break, right as Legion came in.
Yeah,
so
as Legion came in.
Legion was really cool, really exciting time for the game. Like, that is when it really got its huge boom in followers, and we actually got to practice it a good bit. Yeah.
Legion was great, especially because that was the time period that. Well, actually, no, it was way after that. But Legion was definitely when we started investing money, like actual money, into the game. Because So what? So let's just talk about. I'm trying. I can't remember, Rob. Maybe, hopefully, you do. But the first time that we played a game.
You definitely were playing your Kagero deck, because that was your child when I first...
Yes, the Perdition Dragons.
Yes,
the Perdition Dragons.
You were definitely playing Perdition Dragon.
He was. I remember when you built that.
And I was playing a scrap deck I built out of bulk because I really wanted a Link Joker deck, because I saw Rex's Starvader, so I built a really, bad Starvader scrap deck, and it was a blast for me, but I got my ass beat real hard.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Definitely, I would say still to this day, my favorite genre, my favorite core of it will honestly be Limit Break / going into Legion. Only because that's when you actually had to be careful of what you do, because in order to pop off Limit Break, you had to be at 4 damage, and that's when you pop up all these skills. But the thing is if you don't end it that turn, you die, because you pretty much waste all your resources just to be able to pull it off.
I love how we're just talking about the OG, because the way I see it, I understand there's the G era, right? Personally, the way I see it is there's OG, the G era, the V era, and now we're going into the D era. All right. I understand why it can all consist of the G era, and that's just simply because it was the original series went from Aichi being a coward all the way to
what he was now.
Chrono defeating Gize.
Yeah.
Right. But going all the way back, let's go all the way back to the very beginning of the game.
All the way back, not just part of the way back, all the way back.
Ryan.
I made chocolate covered strawberries.
Nice.
So when you go back to the very beginning of the game, right? They released they had Alfred, right?
You're talking about King of Knights, or are you talking about full on Alfred early?
No, I'm talking about the King of Knights Alfred, right? They had grade 3s with pretty okay abilities, right? And the abilities really reflected the clans, right? Alfred was definitely you had to have
blaster blade in your hand or soul.
And we're talking about OG before keywords are even brought in. Keywords are G, correct?
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about King of Knights Alfred, who got +2.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about keywords, the mechanic, how each class. Yeah, that was G. Okay, I just had to make sure. Yeah, back when skills were specific cards or specific built-in combos into the deck that you could manipulate and work around. Yeah.
What was that Dark Regulars card I had? It was something Vampire. Oh my god. It was something stupid. It was Counterblast 5, Soul Blast 8 to pull off some stupid move. Switch. That was the stuff where you had to Counterblast 5, Soul Blast 8. Take one of your opponent's rear guards and slap it onto the Vanguard, and that's what they started off as.
I know his name. He has one of the most interesting arts for the original.
Oh my god!
I'm not Sharp Vampire.
No, that's not Sharp Vampire.
No, that's not Sharp. Sharp's a G era. But so yeah, you just mentioned the Omega Soul Blast, right?
Yeah.
The Omega Soul Blast was the first 8 episodes of the anime. I think 8. Because we saw it used maybe 3 times, I think. Because I know we saw Mr. Invincible do it.
Mr. Invincible, my man.
Yo, Mr. Invincible,
I can cut that part out right there.
Don't put it on your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Don't need that.
So Mr. Invincible, on hit, Counterblast 5, Soul Blast 8, stand all of your units, right? And honestly, it was a great move. It reflected Nova Grappler. You had the vampiric guy that Rex is looking
Don't.
at.
I'm looking into it right now. I think I might have found it. Demonic Lord Invasion. That's when he came out.
What is it? He only had 9,000 attack points. I know it was a grade 3 with only 9,000. And then there was Vortex Dragon, which, if I'm correct, was Counterblast 5, Soul Blast 8,
Steel
retired.
Vampire. That's who it
Steel
was.
Vampire.
It was this one right here. I'm gonna screen share it right now. It was this boy right here. Steel Vampire. This boy's skill was Soul Blast. What was it? Soul Charge 1, and this unit gets plus 2k until end of turn. Soul Blast 8, Counter Blast 5. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put that unit onto your opponent's Vanguard circle. At the beginning of the end phase of that turn, your opponent chooses a card from his or her soul and rides it. But so, like this, like
It was 10k. Okay.
I have to
Wow.
say that card really stood the test of time in Vanguard also. That card was used all the way until the death of G era in some meta dark irregular decks. In some like tier 0 engines.
And see, the thing is that the Omega Soul Blast was like, it died almost immediately. Vanguard's original appearance did not help it. Like Walmart wasn't selling it. Like there was no propaganda or anything. So yeah, it was pretty bad. So then they, so what I like to think what happened with Vanguard, right, was they had these cool cards and stuff like that. But I feel like back then, once you reached grade 3, and your opponent was grade 3, right? That was it. It became a slugfest. So, say I ride to grade 3 and I'm at 3 damage, and now you ride to grade 3 and you're at 3 damage. And at that point, it was just your turn, my turn, your turn. There was no elevation from there. It was just set. And yeah, you had the Omega Soul Blast, but if you had the Omega Soul Blast, then you're dedicating the whole game to that one Omega Soul Blast, right? So then after that, they released Limit Break. And I loved Limit Break. You know, being at 4 to 5 damage, it really changed a lot of things because now it wasn't a game of just simply, all right, if you weren't playing Dragonic Overlord, then you didn't care about rear guards, right? It was literally just smack each other in the face. And then you had Limit Break, where next thing you know, it's like, all right, cool, he's at 3 damage. Am I going to hit his Vanguard or am I going to hit his rear guard and completely, stall out the damage so that way he doesn't get Limit Break? Like risking yourself being closer to losing.
Because all it would take is somebody to be like, yeah, cool, I activate the skill now to get like an extra crit or something, which was really, it would be a very high cost to get an extra crit on an old Vanguard. It would be like, what, Counterblast 2, do something like that. And now we like, and it's not even going into like G or G and frickin' V. It's so easy to use your resources now. And it's just, Limit Break was just such a good mechanic to me, and I love that they tried to bring it back. And Break Ride, oh my god, don't even get me started with Break Ride. Break Ride was
fucking iconic. Pardon me, but
no, that's
iconic of Vanguard.
Yeah, no, it was just, it was something that was so needed to get that revamp. Honestly, doing my deck that I built was Dragonic Overlord, the Rebirth, with Dragonic Overlord, the Break Ride. That was just an endless onslaught of being able to swing with my Vanguard 3 times with so many drive checks right there. Those 2 cards right there. That right there, that Rebirth. We've had that in our arsenal since about 2014. So we've had that card for almost 7 years now, give or take.
Yep.
And that's insane. Like, we've almost had that card for 7 years, and we've never touched it, sold it, anything. Like, that deck.
The Overlord deck.
The Overlord deck. We combined our decks after a while. But, like, I remember during the Falling Out when Brandon wasn't hanging out with us at the time, I pulled that deck out.
Yeah, I remember you pulling Rebirth, and that was a phenomenal thing, because we had been talking for weeks about it, like, your Kagero deck was strong. It was annoying to fight, but like Rebirth was just such a big turning point for that deck too.
Being able to be like, oh no, I'm at 4 damage, and then all of a sudden you guys look at me and they're like, oh no, he's at 4 damage, and he's on Overlord. And then I ride Rebirth, and then it's, okay, cool, I swing at your rear guard, twin drive, first check, second check, critical, triggers on both drive checks.
But then, hopefully it's in here. But when Bushiro, was just, because this was before, I think this was before Legion. It was like just before Legion, when they started releasing these boys.
Yes, the limit break removal. The limit break
removal cards. Where now you can be at 1 damage and just be like, all right, I play this card. Limit break is now active.
And I would still say, till this day, and I think Robert can agree with me with the limit break deck, was the endless hell of Nova Grappler Beast Deity Ethics Reverse combo.
Yeah.
That deck, being able to pull off like 9 to 10 attacks in one turn, depending on your drive checks, that was annoying. With Hatred Chaos, Riot Horn, and Brainy Pipio. Having those cards right there was just an instant setup to be able to pop off at least 6 or 7 attacks. Just that's without even having a limit break added onto it. Like, that's how, like, oh, he just cut out.
Oh no.
Oh, but that's like, oh, they both cut out.
Yeah, Rob and Brandon are gone.
Oh my god. There we go. Okay, Brandon's back.
Yeah, my bad. My thing kind of cut for a second.
No, you're good. But I just kept going and I just realized, like, oh, you both left. But like that combo was just so strong. Like, and knowing that, like, as you're facing this deck, you're looking at it and you're like, if I don't end it this turn, I'm not gonna survive it.
You're starting to echo off the little six's mic.
But it was just such a fun mechanic to be able to do that, and that's the one thing I love about it.
Because with the Break Ride, it was less about, again, it just elevated the level of strategy in the game. Because it was all about the foresight, and it gave your opponent immediate knowledge of what you were trying to do, but only half of the puzzle.
Yeah.
First, it's like, it's great. Oh, your opponent's playing Dragonic Overlord. Now, Dragonic Overlord, the Break Ride. Now, what is he going to bust into? Is he going to bust into the Rebirth? Is he going to drop
bust into the end?
The end? Is he going to go into, I can't remember.
Dauntless Stripe
No, Miwa's Kagero Grade 3. Dauntless? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was Dauntless.
Dauntless Drive.
But like, and that's the thing that I loved about OG Vanguard, and then like even Legion, when Legion was even incorporated into it too. Like, you had so many good combos you were able to pop off with everything. Like the Razors, if Razors was, oh my god, I loved the Razor deck when it came out, and that's the one thing I loved about it. And even Perdition Dragon, Blaster Joker, what's another good one? Even the Dimension Metalborgs. I never played the Metalborgs, but they seemed like a fun mechanic. Or Ultimate Dayusha, or Ultimate Dayusha, or Daikaiser, or the Cross. Like, that was such good. Like, it was such a good meta. And I'm not trying to trash talk G, because G was a good meta. The thing is after a certain point, and I would say after they got to probably around like past Gurgwit, that's when it started getting to the point where it was just getting way too overpowered with their strides.
Yes, so like they did Legion, and I think Legion was a fantastic move, because you and me, we always talked about it, right? Every single time we were like, all right, they're getting at that point, right? So Break Rides, I was like, all right, Break Rides are cool and all, but we're getting to the point where either the game ends too fast or we're decking out. And then Legion came out of nowhere with the Quintet Wall as well.
That made you deck out really quick.
But
I placed this Quintet Wall down. Wasn't it a Counterblast 1, or was it just instantly placed and then? I thought
it was call the top 5 cards of your deck and place it into the Guardian Circle.
That was fun. I remember I went into Worlds, I think Where's my wallet? I think it was
2016.
Was it 2016? I went into the tournament with
Well, you went twice. You went 2015 and 2016.
Hold this. I think because my first tournament was 2015.
Yep.
Here, let me show where it is. Yep, here it is, right here, number 356. I know it's backwards right now, but number 356, Bushiroad World Championship of 2015, and I got to the seventh round before I got knocked out with only a blasters Alfred Seeker deck with quintet walls, and this is when strides were just coming out too, so I went in with just a Legion deck and almost came out on top. And the only reason why I lost was because we looked back on a video and realized the guy I faced at the round that knocked me out, he was healing damage as we were facing each other. He had his buddies distracting me and another guy I had with me. And while we were distracted, he would take a point of damage away. And I would, because I knew as I was facing him, I was like, there's no way he's only at 3 damage. I felt like I've been swinging at more, especially with Alfred being able to get the plus 2k and a crit for having all my rear guards. Because he was playing Shadow Paladin, but the thing is, I kept summoning my rear guards back in like it was nothing. And
Yeah,
of course,
Seekers were really good at doing that.
yeah.
So now,
Did you guys get a refund for Anime Midwest, or did you?
No, I have it. I have my ticket still. Why?
so
Because I got my ticket, or not refunded, but I got it like transferred over.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got our are you still
We can
going?
go this year.
I was gonna say, okay, we'll talk more about getting a room and everything then, after this. But no, straying path of Legion, we'll go straight into the G series now.
Yep.
G. Oh my god, I remember Dave's release of Gear Chronicle. Gear Chronicle being a brand spanking new deck, and I remember like, I'm getting this deck because this deck looks so awesome. Being able to Counterblast 3? No, Counterblast.
No, it was
Counterblast
on hit, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, and then if each one was a different grade, Counterblast 4, restart your turn.
That was I remember that was awesome. Stride was a new mechanic. It was something new, something amazing, and I loved it. Being able to ride Chrono Jet Dragon. I believe I got Chrono Jet Dragon. Blue got Chrono Jet Dragon. Noah got, I believe, Alt Mile. And I think Brady
I got Asha. I got Asha because you got the last Gear Chronicle.
I got the last Gear Chronicle because Noah bought Gear Chronicle and Alt Mile. Then you and Brady bought Asha. I remember that. I remember now.
And yo, Asha had no reason being that strong when she first came out. Like, I just remember you're over here like, all right, cool, send that card to the bottom of the deck. Oh, let me check the top 4. Oh, I didn't make it. And then I'm over here just like, I attacked with my 58k grade 0 column.
Yeah,
what?
that was a day. And honestly, like, even when the first boosters box came out with it,
yeah, and we got
I can't think of his name.
The GR. We got the GR.
The generation ride. The generation rare. Let me look it up. I'm literally on my computer right now. I can literally look it up what it was. I think it was something. I know it's something to do with time. I know that. Watch.
I know it's the interdimensional dragon.
Interdimensional dragon. It's not. Oh my god. What is it? Generation Stride. I think this is it.
Yep. Yeah, it's Generation Stride.
It's not Ragnarok Dragon. It is this one. Chronos Command Dragon. Interdimensional Dragon. Chronos Command Dragon. Which it was
on
a good
hit,
old
Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 1, and suck the entire opponent's rear guards into the bottom
of the deck. And that was even having, and that's when the X was introduced. But oh my god, the X is all. But then again, now with the Legion and everything, the X is probably really good.
Well, yeah, I can understand why the X right now is so much is because he's not what is it? He's not series locked.
Mm-hmm.
So you can literally pull out the new the end.
Mm-hmm. And just wreck everybody's faces in. And I remember this is like when I wanted to build Victor, but I didn't have the money at the time because I think Victor was like $20 at the time, and that's when I thought card games were expensive. I was like, oh my god, that's way too expensive. Like what the heck now? And here I am playing Magic the Gathering, spending like over $500 on a deck, and like it's just so funny how like the concept of money in card games just slowly changes. You go from buying like
Well-
only buying like a 5-cent card to then going to like $1, then $2, then 3, then 4. Then you'd be like, oh, I need 4 copies of this $10 card. Cool, I'm dropping $40 now. Or I need 4 copies of this $25 card. All right, cool. Let me drop $100 on this really quick. Like it's just
Well, I
G
mean-
was definitely the series that I dropped a lot of money into.
When we went into the G era, that was also when we did the $100 in a dream year. Off of $100 and a stack of cards, we survived off the $1 menu, and that was it.
That was it. It was funny because in G, that's when I got like lunch money, and I wouldn't even use it for lunch. I would pack my own lunch, use my lunch money, and use it to save it for a booster box that was coming out. And then when the booster box came out, I'd have enough money to buy like 1 or 2 of them. And Brandon and I would just crack open the boxes until I got my job. And that's when like I started actually being able to pay for my own stuff. And I would still use my lunch money to pay for like the boxes and everything, even though I had a job.
So the G era, it started off with just simple strides. Stride, on hit, search your deck for a grade 2, call it to rear guard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. And then you had the bigger ones, which were like, oh, flip a copy of this card, choose a column, retire all of those rear guards.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. But the G era just kept ramping and just kept getting worse and worse. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it was bad, but it was just getting so fucking overpowered, you know? You'd be like,
Moves. Oh, sorry.
No, you're
I'm
good.
playing Rocket League while you guys are talking.
No, you're fine.
it'd be like, all right, counterblast 1, I stride, counterblast 1, on stride, choose one of my opponent's rear guards, and bind it. And now that you have now my stride ability, counterblast 1, choose 2 of my opponent's rear guards and bind it. Oh, because 3 rear guards bound this turn. Like, it was just going too far.
Like Flare Arm Ziegenberg. Soul Blast 1, choose a face down card from your G zone with the same card name and turn it face up. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Generation Break 3, Counter Blast 1, choose the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent's rear guards and discard them. At the end of the battle, this unit attack this unit. If this unit's blazing, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit at a -2 drive check. Doesn't sound that overpowered, but the thing is, with the blaze mechanic, you were able to just melt the whole field in like off of 1 skill. And
because Blaze was if you had more rear guards than your opponent, and if you like at that point, Kagero was a solo man army. Like if you were facing a Kagero with the Blaze mechanic, then you didn't have rear guards.
The schmoves.
But it's just once they got like even this like the set I'm looking at right now. This was Demonic Advent. This is the one I spent a lot. And I mean a lot of money into this deck, into all these decks to be honest, because I had, I had Chart there, I had Blade Master, I had Shirai Uni, I even had some of the Gear Chronicle cards. I didn't have a Gear Chronicle deck, but I had some of the Gear Chronicle cards.
Shirai Nui, for example, one of Shirai Nui's, Shirai Nui Stride, literally dominate your opponent's Vanguard, attack all of their rear guards in 1 swing. And because technically you owned your opponent's Vanguard in that attack, you got drive check.
Yep. But like, or this one, Counter Blast 1, choose a face down card, choose a same number of rear guards as a number of face up cards in your G zone to get +4k until end of turn. Dominate all your opponent's chosen units as stand. It's each of those units attack your opponent's Vanguard. You may use its abilities if you pay the cost. Like you're taking your opponent's Vanguards. Like Dominate was such a good mechanic. I loved it. But the thing was, it was so busted to be able to do Counter Blast 1. Flip over the G zone. Like by that time you got to this stride, you already had G Guardians. You already had everything else. You already had your first turn stride flipper. By the time you got to this, you already have the whole field already dominated. That's what 5 extra attacks, and that's just on your act phase. That's not even you attacking. Like that's 5 extra attacks your opponent has to guard. Then you have to take your stride. Then you have to take your 2 extra, your 2 extra rear guards that are buffed because your opponents had dominated units. Like that was.
Don't forget. Stride also. Stride had triple drive.
Mm-hmm. that was the turning point when it started getting a little too chaotic. Like, and that's when we get into I think it was not the Demonic Anakin, Dragon King's Ultimate Stride. It had to be when the Ultimate Strides came out. That's when the game took a turn.
Okay. Well, before the Ultimate Strides was GB8.
Oh, the GB8s were fun.
Yeah, the GB8s were actually really good.
Because the GB8s actually took, like, not a lot of setup because it was easy to get to GB8, but the thing is your opponent knew what you were trying to do, and in order for you to get, like, they would just probably, like, end it before you could even get to it.
They were overpowered, but it was reasonable. Like, it gave you a goal instead of just having these overpowered strides. But yeah, then you get to
the Zeroth Dragons.
Ultimate Stride, and that's where all of these boys came out.
Yeah, that one, like Drachma and Megiddo and everything, like that was the thing where, yeah, okay, cool, awesome, you exile your whole stride zone if you don't end it this turn. But the thing is, their skills. Counterblast 2. When this unit's placed under Vanguard, you may pay the playoffs if you do retire all your opponent's units, bind them face up. Your opponent chooses 3 cards from his or her hand, discards 2 of them from among them, rides that card from among them as Vanguard as stand. Like, but the counterblast 2, you board wipe their whole field and screw over their hand, and you screw over their ride chain. Like, even if you don't end it that turn, they still have to get everything set back up. Like,
and you also have to input what clan, like, because that's the Dragon Empire's Ultimate Stride.
Like, and that's not even including, that was Dragon Empire's stride. Like, if you go into, let's say, I would say the least strongest one had to be Stark. Stark was not that strong.
Oh yeah,
Stark's was the most, I would say, balanced one. Because Stark's was literally just counterblast 2 when this unit's placed. You may be able to if you do until end of turn. This unit gets -2 drive checks. This unit does not rest for attack. It can attack up to 3 times during this turn. So you do 1, 2, 3, but you only get 3. You get 3 drive checks. Oh no, but I mean, still, like, that was pretty well balanced.
Okay. It was actually, like, Stark was the only Ultimate Stride that actually, like, Bravest Beak X Galleon or X Gallop, right? Click on that boy real quick. Read his ability, and I didn't even know why Stark existed.
Counterblast 1, choose a face down card. Bring your G's on turn face up. When this attacks, if this unit gets 40,000 power or more, by the way, Grand Gallop was easily able to get up to that power. You may be able to cost, if you do this unit gets +1 drive, and at the end of the battle, if this unit is 80,000 power or greater, it gets stand it and it gets -4 drive check. Like, and gets +10k for each face up G card in your G zone. By the time you stride this, even if you use it for once, right? Let's say you do it. Let's say you do first turn stride after doing a G Guardian, right? You already have Generation Break 3. Boom. That's already, give or take, you already have 40,000 power already. Already over that. Okay. Then you get the +1. You get 4 drive checks. Then you start getting into late game. You stride again. You do your G Guardian stride again. You're already probably at 7 or 8. You're already at 80,000 already, and you get another drive check. You get. It's baffling, because there was definitely cards, if I'm correct, that gave you extra drive checks and criticals for Dimensional Robo.
Like, don't get me wrong at all. Like, I enjoyed it during the time period. It was amazing to just see it skyrocket. Right? It was at this moment right here that we started asking ourselves the question, what's next? Right? Vanguard reached its peak. Like, there was no, like, we couldn't think of Vanguard continuing, right? Because just read Gize up there. Gize straight up can be put in any deck, and his ability literally states, at the start of your turn, for each Zereth Dragon rearguard you have, your opponent takes a point of damage. To summon Gize, when you summon Gize, you just plop 5 of those dragons on the field. So that's 5 damage right off the bat. Right? And I was just sitting there, I was just like, they gave us too strong of a card. What are they going to do? They've reached their peak.
And that's when Vanguard did its reset. Like, oh god, like, we made too strong of a card. What are we going to do?
So instead of doing what like Yu-Gi-Oh does and just create a new mechanic and try to just change the entire meta to it, they rebooted, and it's actually very poetic. So I'm sure at this point you guys know I am in the military, and literally on the plane or preparing to fly to my first duty station, I messaged Red over here going, oh my god, bro, watch this video. And he was like,
Fucking mic quality, bro.
oh, my bad. I was like, hey, watch it.
I'm laughing. It's fucking hilarious.
I was like, watch this video. And he was like, what is this? And it was the reboot. And the reboot has literally lasted my entire time in the military. Like, I am coming towards the end of my time in the military, and the V era is now at its end.
Yep, and this is the time where, honestly, this is around the time where I met my girlfriend now, who I've been almost dating for 3 years now. And
it says now twice in one sentence.
So now is it her origin story?
This is when we can get to her, how she got brought up into Vanguard and how it happened. It's gonna sound pretty mean. It honestly is. Not mean, but it's gonna sound pretty funny. But
it can't be anywhere near as mean as I was when I locked you in that room.
It was still pretty mean.
17 hours.
17 hours, 37 minutes, and 52 seconds. Not like I timed it or anything.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed to leave unless he beat me 3 times. If you wanted a bathroom break, you had to get one victory. No, that was when I was an absolute asshole. Like, if the dude didn't draw, he couldn't draw. If the dude didn't ride and he called a unit, he couldn't ride for that turn. You know how it's stand and draw? If he drew before he stood, I wouldn't even let him stand his units for that turn. I was absolutely evil, but at the same time, I did create a monster after that 17 hours.
You beat me into submission, and out came a cocoon of a man who mastered Link Joker and became one of the kings of Lock at Grant High School. And that was a fun time when all those little midgets were coming after me and trying to take the throne, but they couldn't. But Emily, would you like to explain your side of how I
Is this a podcast? Is what we're doing?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, after like a few months of dating, Rex brought up this card game to me, and I was like, no, I don't like card games. I'm not gonna. I don't want to learn.
You guys are keepers.
And me being me, I'm like, oh, I'll change that.
And so one day, I can't remember what exactly happened, but he was spending the night one night because it was really late and I didn't want him to drive an hour and a half back home.
This was when he slept on the couch.
Yeah. And so he obviously brought his decks and stuff because he had the plan to start me in it. And I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. I don't care. We have nothing else to do. Let's just get this over with.
You want to pull up the cards from that time?
The cards of that time was I think by the time I had.
I'm pretty sure you were playing Marakumo because I was playing Dark Irregulars.
Yep. So that was when the second set dropped.
And so the whole night he was just teaching me how to play the game, and then there was one game. It was the first game that we started actually using the skills written on the cards, and I beat him. I was very proud of myself. I was like, yeah, good job. I did good. And then I never won a game after that, and I hated the card game. I never wanted to play. I stopped playing the card game for a very long time.
And that was only because I pulled out a very fun deck.
It wasn't that one. I think it was the one after that.
No, it wasn't that one. No, it
was Dimensional Police.
It was Dimensional Robos. I had
He
Dimensional
literally
Robos
made me cry.
I felt so bad. Dimensional Robos at the time. Now we're getting into the V series now, of course. So everybody who's all known caught up on V series. It wasn't Heroic Evolution. It was Champions of the Asia Circuit.
Yep.
Dimensional Robo was so fun because it was what we call big dick energy, right? Swinging it for 119,000 with three critical was like a big dick in the locker room, like boom, yeah, what's up? Emily beat me and was like, yeah, I did so good, and oh my god, blah 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 blah. She was really happy. I was so happy for her, and I think she said something to me. Then I was like, oh, okay, let me crack the old gears a little bit here, and full on beat her into submission, pulling having so much pride on my shoulder. I actually had to dismantle the deck in order for her to get back into it. Like,
oh my god.
I had to rip apart the deck, sell the cards for her to be like, I will now learn it now if you want me to. Like, I had to do that because I was like, I can't play this deck anymore. Because it was, who said you can block this attack? Who gave you the permission to guard this one? 2 to pass? Crit. 4 or 5 damage right off the bat, and she's just sitting there like, I'm just Escanor up in here, like full of cruel sun up in here.
Dude, Escanor's the best.
Like going on, like I look down on those who are weaker than me. Like that's how I was with Dimensional Robo, and I felt so bad with it because it was a fun deck I had.
This was still during the time period of 1.
Yep.
Force 1, Protect 1.
Protect 1, and everything.
Excellent.
And then this is how I got her back into it. Ultra Miracle Collection came out. And this is when we get into Angel Feather. And I remember her, she was just saying that Dark Irregulars wasn't working with. This is when it was just the No Life King combo. Compared to all the other combos that were coming out. She's like, I just don't feel like this is strong enough. This is just, I just feel really, set back and everything. Ultra Miracle came out and I was like, hey, you know what deck I feel like you would honestly have a lot of fun with would be Angel Feather. And she's like, what's Angel Feather? I'm like, oh, pretty much is You're Never Gonna Die. And I actually had a very poorly put together Angel Feather deck, which was only 4 Metatron and 4 Feather Palace. Mobile Feather Palace, Hospital, whatever, Counterblast, everything face down, plus 20 kick, plus a crit. I have the set pulled up right here, I can look at it. But pretty much I had Neo Nectar built, fully built with everything. And I had this, and I was just trying to get it back into it, and I faced her with it. Mobile at the Hospital, Feather Palace, that's what it was. I remember I faced her with it, and she's like, oh, I really like that mechanic. I was like, okay, cool. Her birthday was coming up by the time this set came out.
No, it's Christmas.
Was it Christmas? I thought it was your
It
birthday.
was Christmas because you got it for me.
Oh yes, I got you the Xbox on top of that. And I gave it to her, and of course one of our favorite people in the world, love Hefe to death, Captain, love you to death. He's still with us. I don't know. That sounded like he was dead or something, but no, he's with us. He is with us. He's still alive and healthy. I just made it sound like he sounded like he was dead. He's still healthy and alive. Love that man to death. He gave Emily the copies of Zerkio that she needed for free, just to play. He just wanted to face her with Spike Brothers, and of course beat the shit out of her with it. Like full on no mercy, just beat her down. Like, all right, cool, yeah, here we go. Here's some cards. Bah, bah, bah. But she loved the deck. She honestly loved the deck, and seeing that spark of happiness of her enjoying a deck that she loved made me really happy again. And that's when she started building more and more decks. She started going into it more. And I think you stuck with Angel Feather for the longest time.
Yeah, I stuck with Angel Feather until the new set of Dark Irregulars came out. We tried the new set, or the second set of Dark Irregulars, because there's a newer one. And that set just did not work out. I did not like how that set ran. And then we started going into Genesis and all that.
So the thing about the V series, right? So a lot of people didn't really like the V series because it was a big change. The power increase, the gift markers, like the increase on triggers, and just like the amount of shield increase. I loved it. You don't understand. No matter what time of Vanguard we're in, I love it. I'm always in love with it.
Oh, it just
Cause-
brought it's such a new, fresh mechanic into it, where you actually had to be kind of smart with where you put your markers and everything, and how you use your protect markers, because that was the time where we actually had something where we actually got grade 0 P guards, draw triggers. Draw triggers were P guards. We didn't have. We were able to expand our grade 1s, grade 2s, and grade 3 setups now. We weren't limited to actually having a core set of 4 sentinels as grade 1s. Now we have our sentinels as triggers. We don't have to worry about it anymore. Now they added, towards the end of it, they added the 30k sentinels, which I still love. It was such a good mechanic if you're going for a very aggro deck. But like protect 1 and protect 2, like they're such good things. Like they added protect 2, force 2, and excel 2, and that was all stuff like all the clans needed.
And then another thing was the V series. Like, I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to get a new crowd, right? And it was a smart move on them. It was, because Vanguard, the G era was too much, right? Like, the G era is like modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, right? A new person just can't get in with the trial decks that they release now, because it's just so much word vomit and all this. There was so much stuff going on, right?
Even till this day, like even the strides they're still coming out for premium are like, I've even kept up on some of them, are still literally like the Link, for example, the Link Joker stride I looked at. It's like Counterblast 1. Flip over a card in your G zone. Remove all markers. Like, yo, like that just destroys the game. Like the Chaos Breaker that's coming out now. Yes, okay, remove 2 markers. You're removing 2, but you already gave them 1. So in a sense, you're only taking away 1. But then you get 2 force markers because the Chaos Breaker doesn't get a force marker on it.
It's take and then give.
Like I like how they did with that. I love how they balanced that. Like the grade 3s that came out just recently now.
You want to know what's even better? Look at that Chaos Breaker Dragon. It is a grade 3 without a gift marker on it, which is how they should have done Luard.
Yeah, because now like Luard, I only see Luards everywhere. Like it's just.
But before we dive into newer V, I just wanted to state the nostalgia wave that V had. Like V had no reason to reach into their bag of trinkets, because I'm over here expecting a new Die Kaiser, which we never got.
Still waiting for it. Still waiting for it. Still waiting for it.
The Dimensional Police card I wanted is the king of the grade 0s, Great Die Kaiser. But no, instead they reached in their bag and they pulled out stuff like the Golden Beast Tamer. And I still remember reading Golden Beast Tamer was coming out, and I was just like, you mean that card that was Soul Blast 3 to get rid of restraint just so it can attack that turn? That piece of crap, Gold Beast Tamer?
Fuck.
Like, they literally reached out and grabbed the most random old cards that everyone knew was great nostalgia and actually made them good cards. Gave them the front seat.
Gave Gigarex a thing. Oh, my bad. Gigame. Ravenous Me. Dead Me. Like,
Giga U.
No Life King. No Life King wasn't a good card back in the day, but all of a sudden, boom, No Life King is one of the staples you need for Dark Irregulars now. It is a staple to pull that card off. And it just brought back so many cards. Like, for example, they brought back Shirayuki. Like, it's just so much nostalgia came from it. And they brought back a lot of newer cards, like, some of the newer cards when they started getting into the more, advanced, where, like, they brought back Chronome, Gurgwit, and everything. But that's when they started getting a little bit, a little bit more G-ish overpoweredness coming back into it.
Legitimately, the moment they started bringing the G cards into it, it literally was starting to feel like the G era. There was a humongous ramp.
Yeah, like, for example, like, I have the Gurgwit deck right now, and by God, like, I'm surprised that's not a top tier, like, premium deck,
I'm pretty sure it's up there on standard or V premium now.
Because it is so easy. Second turn, grade 3 ride, you're able to have 4 Excel markers, an open field, and at least all the cards you have that you're summoning with your abilities have a plus 20k on top of that. Like, that's your turn 2 grade 3 ride.
And you got Luard that's like on what, second or third? Like every turn you're just dumping out 3 force markers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're playing, of course, the nerf, but still people do the Phantom Blaster speed ride. So then by the time your opponent's grade 2, you're still pump out like 4 force 1 markers.
Like
on your first time.
And that's when I kind of started feeling a little down with, like, I love the Gurgwit deck because it is actually a very, that's what Excel is supposed to be, something that's a very aggro speedy deck, but it's still overpowered because it's just
or like Genesis where you can get a
oh yeah, my bad, Oxel. Oxel.
I'm loving how we're talking. We're not trying to sound negative. In fact, these are all decks that we have. Right? And we enjoy them. We play them all the time. They are great. The game is great. The only thing is, the reason why I play Vanguard is just simply because Vanguard's like one of the only games that I sit down on the table with an opponent and I have no idea who's going to win. I have no idea how the game's going to go. That's why I love Vanguard.
Unless you play me.
Right. Oh yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. You give you the plants, pump out broccolini musketeer.
Remember, Ryan.
Pull out thick thighs.
Remember, even with you couldn't get your ass served on a gold platter because you can't get gold.
Whatever. I can be good at other games.
Well, like
I don't have to be good at every single game.
Like Emily was saying, Genesis. Like, what was it? Turn grade 2 ride, you already had how many force markers? 3? And that's just not even grade 3 yet. And by the time she goes into grade 3, she already has 5, give or take, what you enter your anus you're riding.
Mm-hmm.
Like
my anus.
my anus. But like it's just, don't get me wrong, Genesis is the deck where even Brandon and I hypothesized, because back in the day when they're like grade 3 or greater, we're like, oh, there's going to be grade 4s. Boom, they came up with grade 4s. Brandon and I, at like 3 o'clock in the morning with Rob, were sitting there in my camper, and we're all hypothesizing, are they ever going to make a grade 5? And we said yes. We said yes, they're going to make it, and it's going to be something super overpowered. And long and behold, 4 years later, they came out with Valkyrion, who looks at the top 5 of the cards of the deck, comes out as a 70k fucking attacker, can get any amount, can get a possible 5 drive checks, and it blows my mind. It all goes into the soul, yes, but I mean, like, it just blows my mind that we were just, it was gonna be something like that stupidly overpowered, but it was something that was funny, because you're sacrificing your back row to become Astral Plane, but they made it a little bit balanced, which it goes to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn.
So the V series, which I did enjoy the V series. I will not. There's no part of me that says I don't. Like, I enjoyed it, right? But the V series did not hit like the G series or the OG series. Mm-hmm. It was so short. But maybe it was less short. It was just the fact that it just felt less supportive.
Mm-hmm. It just felt like more clans got more buffs, and of course that's because it's going to go off of fan base, of course. It's
like, for example, yes, each clan got I think at minimum 3 boosts
throughout the year, but some of the boosts weren't even that good. Like, for example, like, we're going to look at Violet's Deleter set. Look at King of Master Danitarian.
3 to 4 years the V series was out, and Dark Irregulars only got 3 boosts.
Like, look at King of well, technically 4, because you had No Life King of Masks, Brutus, and then you got Sharet.
Okay, yeah. Like, again, some clans got more.
Yeah. Huh?
Angel Feathers only gotten 3.
Yeah, Angel Feathers only got.
Angel Feathers, Neo Nectar. I'm pretty sure Great Nature.
The plan.
The plan. Spikes, Mega Colony, and Tachikaze. I know they only got 3 because that was one thing that is one thing that I absolutely loved about the V series, though, was it gave the clans that the G era and the OG era didn't give that much spotlight. Maybe the G era did give them spotlight and they were pretty good. But to be honest, like you didn't. I don't know. I didn't see it.
And that's why I liked when the Astral Deity came out, was because Genesis was the main character. Angel Feather was another main character. Nova was always the main character, but like then they had Nubatama. They had Nubatama as one of them. They had then Great oh yeah, it was Murakuma, not Nubatama. It was Great Nature, Neo Nectar, and Gold Paladins were the bad guys. Like that's something like usually we see Gold Paladins, Neo Nectars, and whatever I just said, Gold Paladins, were the good guys. But when we look back at it, some of the boosts that they came out with wasn't really that good. And I always go back to King of Mass Danitarian, because he had such a lackluster skill. And it was when you would call it Guardians, you can call it 2 grade 2 or greater cards from your soul. When your opponent's rear is retired during your turn, you may soul charge 2. When a grade 2 or greater card is put into your soul by a card ability, 3 units get +5k until end of turn. Out of that set, there was only one card that ever went back into your soul, and that was the grade 2 Succubus. Which you soul blast 1.
Succubuses.
You could pull it out of your soul, come it out, and then like after it attacked, you could put it right back into soul and retire something. Like that was the skill. That was the only thing that ever got put back into soul, and that was like so lackluster compared to, you know, even though the Violence Deleter set wasn't actually that good. This set was actually one that didn't really have that much oomph to it, other than, you know, the Dueling Dragon, Left Arrestor, Right Arrestor, Zangeki combo. You know, like that was something. Until this day, everybody said he wasn't coming back. Star Raider was never going to come back. Until like a few months ago, Chaos Breaker and some Star Raider cards are coming back. Everybody said I was a madman for saying they weren't going to come back, but I knew in my heart he was coming back.
So can we talk about how they decided to end the V series, right? So they announced the collection, like what are they called? Like volume 1 to volume 2.
It is. I have it on my phone right now. V Special Series 10 Clan Selection plus volume 1 and 2.
Like, I absolutely love the fact that they did those, especially because if you read the abilities, they ended the V series with data dumping all the OG mechanics into the V series.
Like Spectral Duke Dragon's back in it.
Spectral Duke Dragon.
Chaos Breaker's in it. You got.
They returned Locke. They returned Spectral Duke. They returned Break Ride with Beast Deity Ethics Buster.
They returned the Blood.
Yeah, they brought back the Blood for. I mean, it's not really an Omega Break, but they brought back the Witches from Legion.
They brought back they even brought back Evil God Bishop Gastiel. Like, even though he was end of G, but still, like, they brought him back. Who else did they bring? They brought back a Mega Colony that works off of damage from your opponent's thing. Like, that's a mechanic we never saw before.
They brought back what's his face? So remember at the very end of G, the one guy, he had the Captain Grade 3.
Valios.
The guy who.
Valos.
Yeah, his ability is literally a nerfed version of Megiddo. It is literally a Grade 3 that's a nerfed version of Megiddo.
Mm-hmm. Like, and it's something insane. And I'm glad they kind of rounded it off like that. And I'm glad they're still going to put support into V, because I honestly do love V. V was actually one of my favorite series.
All right.
I mean, now we're going to get onto the topic that everybody's been wanting to know about after we took like an hour.
Yeah, we've been like ranting this whole time about all this old stuff, but now let's get into it.
The newer stuff.
I just like to state, read that first line at the very top.
Over the 3,000 years that have passed on planet Karay, prayers of the maidens awaken the Chakrabarthi. I think that's it. Bartha.
Chakrabarthi.
Chakrabarthi, divine dragon from within the egg, and the Chakrabarthi begins. The divinity Geese is destroyed, and the divinity Messiah slumbers. An era without prayers, the devious era begins. Planet Karay loses the protection of divinities and falls into ruin. New nation Brantgate prepares for the return of the void. New nation Keter Sanctuary controls a floating island of the skies. Zoo of Magna Gallica builds Stoatia upon the teachings of the sages. A hero ends a civil war and establishes the Dark States. A legendary dragon egg lays dormant within the unchanging nation of the Dragon Empire.
So right there, before you scroll down, go back to the 3,000 years. Yo, Vanguard did what other card games would not do. Right?
A time skip.
Imagine Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually letting go of the Dark Magician and Blue Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Magic the Gathering actually just completely discarding the Gatewatch and never using them again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did here. They got rid of Alfred. They got rid of Blasterblade.
They got rid of Luar.
They got rid
of
Luar.
everybody.
Everyone does not exist anymore. It is 3,000 years. The only debatable people that could have survived are the dragon units. Because we don't really know like how long dragon units last in Vanguard. So there's a problem. There's a possibility that they can melt Dragonic.
And I can see the vampires and the demons surviving for that long too.
Yeah, but they got rid of it. They're not doing the whole reboot. They're not doing the V series again.
Mm.
They're not doing this keep reusing the same brand over and over. Oh, I guess so much time has passed. Let's now make Uranus the new grade 5 for Genesis in this era.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that.
Mm-mm. And this is when we get into no longer clans anymore. We get into now nations.
Yes. Oh, and real quick before you get into this, they say with Gizeh gone, right? That means they're restarting the lore after the G era, not the V era. So I really like that because I've always loved Cardfight Vanguard lore.
So the one thing I'm hoping out of this was yes, they're bringing back something completely different now with coming of nations now. Everybody knew that the United Sanctuary, Dragon Empire, Stargate, Dark Zone, Zoo, and Magna Gallica were all the clans that were under the nation. Like that was what it was like under. Now,
yeah, and that was the coolest thing. I remember we used to hold tournaments, and we're like, all right, choose a deck. All right, cool. Based on what your clan is, you're underneath your nation. Now you're in a team, and we used to do like nation knockout fights.
And that was fun. That was honestly fun. And now they kind of got rid of it a little bit. Now they just made it to where no longer playing a clan, you're playing a nation. And this is where I'm hoping that, in my sense, I'm hoping this is how it happens, is that by combining all the clans into like one nation, that they still keep the individuality with it. Like, do you know that if you're playing, Catter Sanctuary, you definitely know that you have a combination of, Shadow Paladin and Oracle Think Tank. You have a combination of those two.
But that's what I'm right there. What you said, a combination, right? That's what I'm loving about this. Because think about it, right? Angel feathers, right? Create an angel. Explain to me an angel feather unit.
Metatron, on ride, counterblast.
No. Oh. Make your own.
Make them own?
Yep.
Alright, cool. If 2 or more damage gets put into your turn this turn, Soul Blast.
No. I'm not saying the effect.
Oh, actually, create one.
I'm saying create a character.
I don't even know how to create it. I'm just thinking of just big old angel.
Yeah, it'd just be an angel with some kind of medical supplies, right? Instead of some guy or Bushiro sitting there going, "We're gonna now make a new angel with another medical appliance." Oh no. No, now that they combine the clans, they're not trapped within their own self-made genres. They can now mix it.
And that's what I'm hoping that they do. That if you do play a certain nation, that whatever set that comes out, that that you're playing a Genesis Oracle Think Tank Angel Feather hybrid. Like that each one of their skills are those things. That you're playing that. or what I'm hoping for from what I see from the trial deck, just from the picture of the main grade 3, that, oh, make sure he comes back.
Yep, I'm back.
To make sure that, you know, the dark states, grade 3, it looks like a combination of Dark Irregulars and Spike Brothers, just from the art of the grade 3. And I'm like hoping that dark states deck is gonna work like that, where it works with the soul and it works with doing football tactics. And that's what I'm really hoping that they keep, because I don't want. That's the one thing I loved about Vanguard, is that it had its individuality of each clan. Like, you knew you were playing Royal Paladins. You played Royal Paladins to summon, you get to gain power from your friends. You played Gold Paladins to top deck and summon units. You played Shadow Paladins to sacrifice your friends to gain power. Like, that's what I loved. Like, that's what I love, the individuality.
I was thinking about the Gold Paladins, right? And I realized something. So, you know what the difference between a Gold Paladin, Royal Paladin, Shadow Paladin is? Royal Paladins rely on their friends, right? For example, when you're at the World Championship and you're about to lose, and I sent you a message saying, I'm right here for you, bro. And then you seek the mate and then you won, right? That's Royal Paladin. Shadow Paladin is like sacrificing your bros, right? Gold Paladin, due to the lore, Gold Paladin was the surviving members of the Royal Paladins and Shadow Paladins banding together to fight the Void, right? So then you put that into aspect with the ability. The ability of the Gold Paladins is to top deck cards into being, right? It's not an exact strategy. It is literally they're reaching their hand out to any Paladin, Royal or Shadow, that will grab the call to aid them in battle to fight their opponent. It's what I always loved about the Gold Paladin, is it wasn't like a specific, it was a band of all the Paladins in one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like, so look, well, let's look at these, right? So the United Sanctuary is now called the Cater Sanctuary. Dragon Empire, staying the same, is the Dragon Empire. Stargate, which kind of funny that they're not called the Brant Gate, being that Brant was the villain. But we'll after we read the description of each one, then we'll talk into the actual ones.
Yeah.
So we got Dark Zone, which is now the Dark States, which is awesome. And then Zoo and Magdalalica, yes, are now Stoicheia, which is the right now Dragon Empire, of course, is like the number one, but I know Stoicheia is like competing for top nation right now.
Well, because we can look at the map right here.
Well, I'm not talking about just the map. I'm talking about just overall fan base.
Ooh.
Like everyone is talking about Stoicheia, right? But real quick, looking at the map, right? I like to state a little bit of lore right here, right? So you see how the Dragon Empire is taking away some of the now Cater Sanctuary? 3,000 years ago, right? There was a village. In that village was Altmile. And Altmile used to defend the border of the United Sanctuary. And there's a statue. And that statue is the statue of a hero, the original Stride from the very first GTD. What? I think it was 2?
02. Yeah, it was 02.
Yeah, the Stride. It was the Stride, right? And now, as we've seen, the Dragon Empire is now taken over that land. Technically, that statue, if it's still standing, is a relic of the past that probably no one in this now Cray knows.
Mm-hmm.
We have a relic of the United Sanctuary in the Dragon Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Just something I like. I love, like I said, I love the lore, and when I saw them take more of their land, it was awesome.
Yeah. So we'll go into the descriptions of each sanctuary in each nation now. Was once known as the United Sanctuary as the youngest nation of planet Cray. The nation was once a holy kingdom of heroes that prized justice and order, but its territory has shrunk from civil wars and calamities. Separated into a controlling faction that looks down from the floating island, the people below gaze up at the island. So pretty much it's...
Okay. So right here, right? This is the, like, somewhere along the line, something happened, right? something either happened to Alfred, or so I think this is strongly influenced by the merging of the clans.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got the merging of the clans, right? Because originally the United Sanctuary was just run by the Royal Paladins, right? Everyone else kind of just abided by the laws, except for the Shadow Paladins, and that's definitely where all the civil wars came in. So you get to this point now where they mix the clans, and time has passed, right? And now since they're all under one banner, it wouldn't surprise me if some Shadow Paladin-esque stuff made it through the ranks and actually took over as like not a king. I don't think this place is ran by a king.
No, I think it's ran by a dictator. A dictator.
Yeah.
Hell, one of the trial deck is literally called Apex Ruler. Like, come on.
Like I love this. They've taken the land of the original main character that's supposed to be this holy beam of light, and they actually made it the darkest out of all the new nations.
And the Dragon Empire, the only nation whose name remains even after 3,000 years. While the nation's borders are a constant flux, it remains safe and an affluent to its great military power based on destructive weapons that meld magic and science. The Dragon Egg of Legends lays dormant at the Red Dawn Manor with the sacred temple at the center of the Dragon Empire. That's pretty much the new Chakra Birth Dragon.
Nirvana. It's Nirvana. Dragon Empire. Dragon Empire is the Dragon Empire. I mean, and I do like how they're. It's no longer going to be the joke, that what's a Kagero? It's only Dragonic Overlord, right? We're now actually going to dive into it as a nation.
And then we get to Brantgate, which it's still funny that I'm surprised that they named it after one of the biggest baddies, who reversed your triggers, by the way. The first ever to ever happen in Vanguard history to actually have reverse triggers, which we also hypothesized of a clan actually doing that. To be surprised, it was not surprised, but Link Joker, of course, would have it. The nation known as Stargate prospered from being the Stargate of a planet created to visitors from other dimensions. It maintains its advanced culture and national power in the new era through its high level of technological development. To prepare for the return of the Void, the citizens of Brantgate defend themselves from invaders with the power of science and continue fighting at the borders of the world.
So I'm gonna guess the reason why it's called Brantgate now is because, you see, Stargate was supposed to be this loving thing, right? You had the dimensional police, right? And yes, there was the villains, right? But even the villains weren't that bad. And then you had the Nova Grapplers, which the Nova Grapplers were just a combination of aliens, right? And it was great. It was also mechs and stuff like that. I feel like the Stargate was really a welcome mat for beings to enter Cray and just be classified as a unit until Starvader showed up. And now that Stargate realizes that they can't just have a welcome mat, right? It can't be. It can't be a welcome mat because Brant showed up and he destroyed the welcome mat. So now it's called the Brant Gate because I think the reason why they took that name is because they classified it as a win. Right. And
which then the one that I'm excited for was the Dark States. Because
by the way, look at this art. Look at the art style for Dark States. It is the second best art.
Look at that. That's just beautiful. And I'm a very big dark irregulars player. I love dark irregulars so much. And Spike Brothers. I always love the concept of Spike Brothers. The new nation, formerly known as the Dark Zone, is a magical nation dominated by the Dark Forces. The small kingdom dominated by the Demon Kings was once fractured, but it was reunited by the efforts of a single hero, and in Gear Chronicle. With the laws of Gear Chronicle and the relationship with Dragon Empire, Dark States entered a period of prosperity.
Okay, actually, I didn't know that last part.
So
the relationship with the Dragon Empire.
and also look at it with the laws. What did we just talk about? That was the laws of a certain hero.
It's Chronojet Dragon.
It could be Chronojet Dragon, of course, but I
No,
mean, like,
I'm pretty confident it's Chronojet Dragon.
I was gonna say I was thinking that it was one of the heroes from like Uniting Sanctuary before it downfall, but it also could be Chrono. That's a good hypothesis as well.
Reunited by the efforts of a single hero and Gear Chronicle. Oh wait, yeah, no, that's separate. It says and.
It's single hero and Gear Chronicle. See what I mean?
Oh yeah. So who? Okay.
So
that's something we can now think about.
So look at Dark State's flag, right? And
Isn't that
remember how United Sanctuary used to look. Had the like the star on it.
Yeah.
Like now I'm thinking it's the hero from Wild Story that came in and helped them out and everything. But that's just me hypothesizing. Let me go to Stoatia. The nation with the longest history. Stoicheia. I'm calling Stoatia. The nation with the longest history of unplanetary zoo and Magna Gallica, where aquatic creatures and undead army gather, became one nation based on the teachings of the great sage of Stoatia. As foreseen by Stoatia, the former zoo is a land where the world's best minds gather with the verdant riches of nature represented by the sacred tree. Stoatia's national power has been on a sharp rise of late due to its abundance of resources and unity of its people. Which, by the way, look at that art too. Like,
yes, that's why I'm saying Stoicheia has the best art.
Like this one, then I would go Dark States, and then I would go Dragon Empire because that just looks really cool. I'm not really liking how it's very futuristic looking, you know, because that doesn't really look like how the Knights would have lived in. But I mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
But but I mean, then we're gonna get to.
Wait. Go back to Stoicheia real quick. All right. So Stoicheia, right? I love Stoicheia because you know what this means, right? I can finally have my zombie pandas. Think of the possibilities, my guy. We can literally have an army of underwater dead IQ animals
that blow up and you draw cards and then you just summon them back to get more power and draw cards. Like, that's gonna be fun.
All right, so now we get to the card. As you can see Nirvana on the screen. Now, real quick, look at where the grade 3 is, right? The grade 3 symbol.
Well, here, let me zoom in.
All right, so, no, look up just a little bit more.
Oh yeah, whoa.
It's a red border. If you actually look at the other cards from the other nations, they're different colors and they're different designs.
Hold a second. Hold 1 second. Let me look into this really quick. No. Is this gonna go between those two? I gotta back out of this. Oh, no, I'm already backed out of it. Okay. Latest system using upcoming.
Oh, right there.
Here. Tiger. That's the one I'm going for. It's gonna be Diablos, Anger Richard, Bad Steve, Innocent Matt, My, and our girls are. That's funny. But we look at Brutus. Like, oh yeah. That's like look for example. Like look at this. Like this vibe right here is just giving me that dark irregular Spike Brother feel to it.
And also notice how they've gone blue.
Yeah, that's another thing. They've gone blue. Like it's like they've been like this hero brought in some prosperity into it. Hey, look, there's Kale behind me.
But I absolutely love what they've done with this. Right? He looks so great. Like it's such a good looking card. Right? You look at the other ones, and if you actually notice, all their arts go together.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be right here. Look. Grade 3.
Yeah, it's all one gigantic picture.
That's sick. Bad Steve. Well, you can continue on. I'm still. Oh.
Yeah, and you see his foot.
Yeah, like right here. Like that's.
But like, and here's what I'm so happy about. All right, I know I mentioned this to you before, and you said you had very mixed feelings about it. But the Persona ride.
Yes, that's a thing I want to get into is the Persona ride.
All right, because if you look, you can now see there's the Persona icon right there, right? So right now, as far as we know, this is Nirvana's, right? But this could be just the staple effect of. This could just be the staple effect for Persona, right? The Persona ride mechanic. Yeah, right here, how it works. When you ride a unit on your Vanguard with Persona Ride icon, if both units have the same card name, draw a card and apply the continuous effect. All your front row units get plus 10k until end of turn. Persona Ride activates and resolves immediately before resolving any other effects and resulting from riding the unit. There is currently no information. Yeah. Anyways, so another thing is, because we'll get to this when we go down the list some more, but this is a ride from hand. Persona has to be a ride from hand, right? And I understand why people will be upset, right? Because they want something to rival that of the gift markers, right? Because I mean, let's be honest, Red. Like when you hear that, you don't think it's that great, right?
No, it's something great. I honestly do like it because as you see, I'm like kind of reading through these comments and everything.
Yeah.
It's something that needed to happen. It's something that needed to change
it's not something that's going to dictate the game.
It's because like I said earlier, Gurgwit became so overpowered to be able to spam out your Excel markers, or Luar spamming out your force markers. It just became way too overpowered of being able to be like, okay, now cool, great. I'm just gonna sit here and just pretty much heal over and hope I don't die. Like,
okay, the G series, yes, stride was the mechanic, and that's how they revolved the game, right? But it wasn't designed. The game didn't evolve itself simply to stride, right? It was the strides themselves that had the effects, right? The V series was like, all right, we got this cool mechanic, let's go with it. And then as it went on, that's all the game cared about, was just their different versions of busting out the mechanic. I don't see that with this Persona ride, right? I see it as just that. I just see it as a extra tool to have. It's not something the game's going to be based off of, because it doesn't activate to superior ride.
And I feel like it is honestly, I think the more I'm looking into it, and the more I'm actually reading the comments on how it's going to work, and the more we talk about it more, how we got everything put together now, it's honestly going to kind of bring back a little bit of OG-ness into it. Because you're not focusing on gift markers, you're not focusing on stride. All grade 3s have kind of the same passive ability to have a continuous effect of giving 10k. Yes, it's 10k, oh no, it's 10k. But I mean, it's a continuous effect. It's not overwhelming. It's not overpowered. And it's a little balanced.
I feel like they're going to really power down it. So, like, that was one thing. I liked it. It sounded cool when you go, I swing at your opponent for 68k, right? Sounds cool, right? But then you go into the old OG, like G area and OG Vanguard.
Where 30 count for 30k was a big hitter right there with a crit.
I attack you for 32k, and you're just over here like counting your cards, and you're just like,
okay, I have 2 crits that can make it 1 to pass right now. That's 1 to pass. I have another 5k to possibly still make it 1 to pass, and I have to put another 5k in it just to make it 2 to pass. You're wasting 4 cards right there. That's if you didn't.
And I do like how they kept the triggers at 10k. Okay?
Yes, I do like how they kept it on there.
Me, I am a incredibly big person when it comes to crits or triggers. I love triggers. I love the whole mechanic of drive checks and damage checks, right? Because that's the thing about Vanguard. Vanguard is supposed to be this game about skill, but also luck, right? It's this combination. That's what. If the drive checks weren't like the drive checks, what they're there for is to give the game spice, right? Because you can have the ultimate combo,
But if you don't pull what you need,
and then your opponent gets the defense trigger, and that's the ultimate thing to save it. Because the game doesn't have that much defensive
maneuvers.
stuff. Like the G Guardians, that was Vanguard's like ultimate biggest attempt at giving the defending player an ability to fight them off.
Mm-hmm.
And there
Which
was
it
only
honestly
like
did. It honestly did. A lot of the G Guardians actually gave you a pretty good fight with how it
like
worked.
one of them, the Phoenix. I forget his name, but his counter last one, retire the attacking unit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I thought that was amazing. It helped out so much, especially with dealing with restanding decks.
Oh yeah, or the Norakami one. It would be so good against like Aquaforce decks, or anything that would have everything be tapped first. G Guardian, for every 4 cards in your opponent's bind zone, you retire a tapped unit. Boom! That you could potentially board wipe them depending how many cards you bound already.
Yep, or another Kagero unit that completely retired the back row.
Yeah, and that's the thing that. Hey, what's up, Caleb?
Hello there.
We're doing a podcast
We're doing-
of Vanguard right now.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, no.
I'll leave y'all to it then.
We'll be playing games a little later on. I'll message you.
Okay, sounds good.
That sounds good.
So here, let's scroll down just to continue a little bit. But right here, so they got rid of VRs.
Going back to the traditional triple rare, double rare, rare, and common.
Yes, okay, the V series. Okay, so there was the original series. Loved it.
You had your
Right, you could just
SPs.
build it down.
You had your
You got
SPs.
you got to the G series where you now were clan locked. You get to the G series where you're now clan locked, right?
Mhm.
But it was still fun. It was easy to get cards until later on.
Mhm.
Then at the end of G, it became too much, right? No new player could just walk into the store and be like, all
Be
right,
like, hey, can I have an
wanna build-"
SG? Can I have a GR really quick?
Yeah. Then you get to the V series. And the V series at the beginning was cool because like you can just get a set, you can get your clan, but then there was no support, no nothing, right?
Mhm.
And it was a real deterrent. Like because it's like, oh, I want to play the game. All right, cool. I got this Dark Irregulars deck. And then your clan doesn't get support for the next year.
Mhm.
And you're just sitting there and it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to spend all my money on another clan, right? It's not like Magic where you can buy a box and just create so many different decks out of
Yeah,
it.
you can't buy a
Like,
core. You can't buy a core set and build like
And
multiple
not
decks.
everybody's like, and not everyone's you and me who just dump money on the whim of just having clans,
Yeah,
right? A casual player just wants one
Play.
deck.
yeah,
to
wants
go with.
one deck to play.
And the VR thing with just like only one a box.
Look how fat my cat looks right here. Sorry, so not to deter away from what we're look how chunky my cat looks. So my cat had a double ear infection, and then had a respiratory infection back to back, like in a span of a month. She was super skinny, and now she's super chunky. And,
Junkus.
like chunky. But yeah, like it was, and I'm glad that they're doing that. Like in V, it was the same thing. You have to have 4 sets of your VR. You have to have at least 4 sets of your VR. If you don't, then you're not really your deck's not going to function really well. The triple rares aren't that good. Like they're good, but they only
Like,
work
You
with
could
your
make,
VR.
You can make a good deck with the triple rares, right? But if the VRs just outshine the triple rares
Yeah.
way too much.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until the end of the V series that they were really making good budget decks.
Mm-hmm. And then the one thing I am very happy about, and this is why I like Persona Write, is that you have to write it from your hand.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they got finally, after what, 7 years of playing this game. Because I started back in 2013, so almost going on to 8 years. Actually, it's been 8 years since I've been playing the game. Has it been 8 years? No, because we met in 2014. 2014, right? When was your new
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. That's all we know. I graduated 2017.
This man tried to get me to do math.
So 2014. Okay, so 7 years since I've been playing this game, and they finally got a function to where you're not freaking discarding or exiling or anything. You have your perfect ride chain finally. You have it put to the side.
I don't mean to, like, I understand you're burning with passion about this right now, but can you scroll up just a little bit? I just want to say something about this, right? We don't have to stay on this for long, but I know a lot of people are complaining about this. A lot of people don't believe that Bushiroad can function 3 different sets at once, right?
Okay.
But this is such a good move on them. It really is. All right.
They
so
took
premium
the
players,
magic turn. They took a magic
Okay.
turn to it.
all right. So premium, right? Just standard premium. This is the balls to the wall, right? This is the fat man with the Cheetos. I'm not saying that everyone that plays premium is this. I'm just saying this is this is the game mode that those neck breathers are just like, this is my brave. This is where I'm going to create the unstoppable Zoa combination, right? This is that game mode that's just designed to break the game, right? It's fun. Don't get me wrong. I play premium. I have a premium deck now, but
I do too. That too.
it's just this is where you go all out, right? And I understand a lot of people are like, well, since V is no longer the standard, shouldn't V go into premium? No, that will kill off the entire V series player base. Imagine being a guy who just started in the V series, and then you get thrown into a game that has Limit Break, Break Ride, Legion, Stride, G Guardians, Ultimate Stride, GB8s. Right?
And on top of that, you're getting your gift markers and everything still.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like no. I think it's great that they're keeping V separate, because the people that joined in that time period, that's what they've been used to. That is their game, right? And like V is definitely a more friendly version, right?
I'm definitely a friendly version. And I'm happy, like, because we really think about it. So cool. Alrighty, I'm gonna pull into the magic terms into this right here. So standard's gonna be the newest sets that come out. Okay, cool. Yeah, but it's still gonna be everything that came out within that year, within that time span, with anything that has this symbol here. V premium would be like, you know, I would say like the modern, you know, where it's like it's a couple of older sets, you know, and you're still able to play. Then premium is the commander version, where you're able to have everything into play. And that's where, like, in Magic terms, there's a lot of really overpowered commander decks that literally just like turn 3 instant win. Like, there's a lot of decks like that, and that's what a lot of decks are like in Vanguard and Premium. Like, we will go into standard Premium Luard. That's one of the top tier decks that are going out for right now. For a while, top tier Premium decks was Draconic Vanquisher. It still is. It's still one of my. It's still one of the cards I still want to get right now, because I loved Vanquisher's playstyle back in G, because it was actually well balanced. And that's what I love. That's what I love, that Bushiroad took that turn into having those separate things so everybody can have their own comfortable playstyle. So, like, knowing me and you, Blue, we're gonna be playing through all of them. We don't give a damn. Like, we're gonna be playing through. We're gonna spend money on all of them because we love the collection of it. Unlike Magic for me, it's all player based, and I know there's a lot of things that deter a lot of players from card games is all those mouth breathing neckbeards that go like, why aren't you running 4 copies of Kirkwind, and why aren't you running 4 copies of this one Sentinel P card, you know? And it's like, no, I build my deck to have fun. I build my deck the way I want to do it. And
that is one thing I will always preach to people. I could give a rat's ass if you only have 1 copy of King of Knights or King of the Round Table Alfred. All right? If you're having fun and that's how you built the deck, then
balls to the wall, have fun.
Yeah. That's why I loved Vanguard, right? Now I have money, right? The military has granted me paychecks, so I can now spend it to have the most up-to-date meta deck,
That's the same
right?
thing with me.
But-
Like, with my job has helped me be able to build the decks I want to have up to date.
But back then in the OG in Vanguard, the G era,
I will have
Like,
2 copies
I-
of Blaster Joker.
like, oh look, I got 1 copy of Blaster Joker, or the one time we had like 3 copies of Blaster Joker, but only 1 copy of the Legion.
A photon, yeah.
Yeah, we had a photon, and the price for photon was like $38 for a single copy.
Oh yeah.
And we were just like, we're not paying that. So you be over here just like, please don't photon into the damage. Please don't photon into the damage. You're like,
Damn it.
okay. Well, maybe I can. I got the other grade 3. Like it bring like incomplete decks actually bring me joy. Right? You don't have to be this. You don't have to be the greatest, because guess what? It's Vanguard. The joy of Vanguard is you always have a chance to win, regardless. That's where the luck and strategy comes in. That's why I love Vanguard. It's the only card game. Like, yeah, I'm sounding very cocky right now, okay? Because like Rex can testify. If I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh against you, then I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. But back when I did, like, I sat down. I was like, I'm gonna win, and I just destroy people, right?
No matter what deck they were using.
11 years undefeated, woo! But
Not undefeated. I've beaten you.
that's why I said 11 years undefeated,
Oh, okay.
and then you beat me finally.
Yeah.
After all that time. So, but Vanguard's that one game that's what gives me the thrill. Is you sit down, you look at your opponent, and it doesn't matter their experience level, because there's always a chance. Hell, there's always that chance someone's gonna double crit you out of nowhere.
I know that's a lot. That's the thing. A lot of people deter away from Vanguard. It's like, oh, it's luck based, but it's like sometimes luck based is a little fun. And I know that's why like Emily prefers Magic, because Magic does take a lot of skill, and Magic can go either way. It's the same way. You have to get lucky on it too with your draws and how you have your format and everything. It depending on your deck. And that's the one thing that I love that Vanguard's going towards, is that they're being more open and more creative with how their play styles and everything are going. And that's why I'm hoping with the nations. That's the only thing that's turning me away from it right now, is the nation thing. As I'm hoping they keep the individuality where I can know that I'm playing Dark Irregulars and Spike Brothers, and then the next set I know I'm playing Pale Moon and Gear Chronicle. Like, I want to make sure that I know that I'm playing those 2 clans, but it's under the nation,
But one thing I do like about this is the fact that 2 things. One, the trial decks are only $4.
Yeah, that's another thing. $4 for a trial deck.
$4 for a trial deck. And to top it off, not only can you just get a hint from the trial decks that they are doing the themes, right? I'm hoping they keep that. But the fact that every single booster set will always have support.
No matter what.
We've gone from 6 months to a year waiting for support for your deck to a guaranteed
Every 2 months you get a set.
every 2 months increasing meta. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I think the D era is going to be the biggest opening for
Yes.
Vanguard.
It's going to be the very big deterrent of how everything is going to change. And that's why I love it that they finally have a ride deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how it says only applies to the new standard format. The new standard format, not for V Premium or Premium. Because by God, if you had a certain ride chain in Premium or V Premium, you're guaranteed to win. And that's why I like the new standard format. I have a feeling it's going to be definitely fun. We can go to some questions. Is the ride deck also allowed in V Premium? Premium? No, the ride deck is only allowed in standard. Do we use separate sleeves for the main deck and ride deck, or do we use the same sleeves? Are for the main deck and ride deck must be different. There's no issue even if the sleeves are different within the ride chain.
All right. So real quick, I know this is a question. So yes, it says you have to have a grade 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? That grade 0 is your starting Vanguard. So you will be taking that top card and placing it on the Vanguard circle to start the game.
I'm not gonna go to scroll down yet for the over trigger yet. Because that's this is the biggest thing right here is the over trigger.
And I love it. I love it so
I'm
much.
happy about that one. But like Must the copies of the same card in the main deck and the right deck be up to 4? Yes, there must be only 4 copies of the same card in total. If 1 copy is placed in the right deck, you'll be able to put 3 copies in the main deck. So pretty much you're starting with a 50 card deck, but you're only gonna have 46 in it. So you'll only have a 46 card deck now, but you're guaranteed a ride. So you know, boom, I know I'm gonna ride grade 1. I know I'm gonna ride grade 2, and I know I'm gonna ride my grade 3 now because I have my ride deck, and then I have my chance to have the persona rides and everything.
Yep. And so a thing about the ride deck, right, is you have to discard a card to get a card from the ride deck, right? So it's not like we're just gonna be endlessly retrieving cards in our hand. Now scroll up just a little bit. So I can't. I like how they blurred out the shield totals, right? Because we're gonna get into that later. All right. Scroll down. For the over trigger.
Oh, yeah, yes. The over trigger. When revealed as a trigger, remove this card and draw a card. When revealed for a drive check, give 100 million power and an additional effect, which this additional effect is give another 100 million power to another unit.
So I will never call this. I'm not going to ever get a over trigger and then go power to something. I'm going to call it overpower, right? I will always say it. I'll be like overpowered to the Vanguard, but this is beautiful, right? Only 1 to the deck, right? It is the one miracle shot, right? And that's what I love about it. Is that miracle punch that could change the whole game, right? Is that miracle shield that can protect you, like in the darkest of times. And then we only have 1 over trigger where the effect has actually been revealed.
Yep.
And that is the Kagero.
Is this the Kagero one for sure? Like this
No,
is the 100%?
No. So this one just tells you when revealed for a drive check and a damage check, right? But it also gives an additional effect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the additional effect is right here. Like that. I don't know. But I think this is going to be like the Cray Elemental one, to be honest, because it says Elemental. This is probably going to be one where it's like you can put it in any deck.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a promo.
Because I guess just looking at it, it gives off that Cray Elemental feel to it. But
so,
like, I love it. Like, and it's also that one chance to be able to, oh no, I'm about to die. Boom, overpower. Not only do I negate your attack, I also gain 100 million power now.
Yep. And so the Kagero one, right? The Kagero one states that stand your Vanguard.
Here, let me see. I can probably look it up too. Let me go back here. So, is it under the Kagero trial deck right now? The Dragon Empire trial?
No, I don't think it's underneath the Kagero trial deck.
Nope, I think it might be. No, it is this one. This is this one.
No, I think that's just a staple.
Might be.
Okay, so that's probably the one that they're going to throw into all the trial decks, right? I think
it's probably going to be the actual, like, the booster set. That's the one you actually have to get the over trigger.
So they actually announced that one, right? And its ability states when revealed. Yeah, there it is. All right.
Oh wow, that is. Choose one of your vanguards and stand it. That's.
It does absolutely shit for defense.
Yeah, 50.
But for offense, this card in itself is a Dragonic Overlord ability.
Yes. Dragon Deity, King of Resurgence, Dragveta. Like,
I can understand. Oh, but now you're being swung at by 2 times an overpowered unit. Well, I mean, the first time you didn't know. Yeah, P-guards. I was going to say, like, the first time you didn't know, but the second time you know, right? And it's not like they can double up. Okay, let's talk about the arts for these, right?
That's just, I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah. No, go back real quick. Let's see. I personally think that the one you just showed. So that one's one of my least favorite ones out of the thing. And that one looks nice, right? It's not on one of my tops,
Yeah.
right? Because I just think it looks like a furry dragon.
Yeah.
Like-
this is the cutter sanctuary. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
one.
one.
Like it literally looks like like that dark one we saw. It literally looks like the light and dark.
Yes. Like comparing these two together, like right here, like that's definitely like, you know, heaven and hell. Like this is just light and dark and everything. And honestly, that's amazing that I like how they're gonna do the staple and then they're actually gonna have it where, you know, it's like that. And I love that they're doing that. And then this is when if you scroll down a little bit more, it actually tells you how the
we may have jumped the gun on explaining the Persona ride.
during your turn when I rode a grade 3 into a grade 2 unit, can you continue to use Persona? No, you cannot. You can only ride once a turn, and you'll be able to use the Persona ride the next turn because you have to ride. That is something.
Yeah,
with the
I'm
same
loving
ride
it, but you can't spam it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do the fucking superior ride spam on this,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You have
It
to
is
ride it
just a
from your
mechanic.
hand.
It is just a mechanic, and I feel like well, first off, I already know this, but we're gonna talk about it later. The shield totals got decreased.
Oh, does it say on here? No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. We're gonna go back to that. Damn, you closed it out. I was gonna say go back to that one of the trial decks.
Here, I can easily pull it back up. No, I'll do the one that actually has more cards that are actually in it right now. I'll do the Dragon Empire one. We'll do...
Here, do a grade 0, 1, 2, and then 3.
Yeah, so we'll do this one first. Oh, it doesn't actually show up a shield.
Here. Hopefully we can...
Here, I'll do this.
Because I think you clicked on the front trigger. Click on the heel trigger.
Or like, so basic 5k.
Look.
Okay.
Grade 1s are back to 5k.
Mm-hmm. And then go down to the grade 2.
Grade 2s are still 5k, right? But you notice how their powers so their shields went back to OG and G.
Yeah, like...
But the powers are staying V.
And then Chocobor 13k, no shield.
Right? Now go to the crit and then the heal.
Okay,
The
so the
heal-
heal's still the same.
No, because
No,
heals
it's
were
15
20k.
It's a 15k now.
15k. And you go to the crit, and it is also 15k. So all triggers have now been set to 15k. And they haven't revealed draw triggers yet, so we don't know if draw triggers are going to be...
Or front triggers too.
Yeah, we don't know what the shield totals are going to be.
Well, is that something I'm a little surprised about, is that they actually gave each clan a front trigger now.
Oh yeah, I think that's great.
But no, like this is something that I'm like super
Alright,
stoked
so
about.
Look at these characters real quick. No, you've seen Shield Hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Code Geass, right?
I haven't seen Code Geass, but I've seen Rising of the Shield Hero.
All right, cool. Now let's take the two groups that made those and combine them together and make the Vanguard anime. Right? Like, I wouldn't. We're not gonna play the trailer just simply because we don't want that to be a reason that this gets taken down.
Copyright reason, yeah.
But look at these characters. They are so detailed compared. That's a step. It is a huge step to how Vanguard used to be, right? And so if you actually look up pictures, right, you'll notice that there's something about the main character, right? The main character. So if you read the main character's description, it says he ran away from his sister, right, because of her hobbies. One of those hobbies is actually shoving him into dresses. And it was something that I was like kind of theorizing when I first saw the trailer, because at the very end of the trailer you see this girl standing there and looking at the arcade or the carnival, right? And I was thinking to myself, I was like, wait, the description says the main character ran away and I was looking at this carnival, so I kind of did some piecing it together and stuff like that. But I just love how it's so much. It's like a darker look. If you just watch the trailer, it definitely looks like it's going to be a darker anime.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. And I love how all the trial decks are coming out on the same day. May 14th for
Yeah,
us.
unlike Japan. In Japan, it's actually the
March.
first 3 trial decks are coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, a couple days, and then the 4th and 5th come out. So for us, we're getting them all on the same day.
Mm-hmm. And I know. We're preaching it. I'm going with this boy right here. I'm going with Tyrant Tiger. Blue's going with Holy Dragon. And,
Oh, yeah. I have to.
And Emily, it's funny that it's because this is the main 3. This is the trio of the team. This is like the main group of 3. Isn't there something like what's their team called again?
Black Hole.
Black Hole. Yeah. And it's funny because Emily plays United Sanctuary. I'm a Dark Irregulars fan, and Blue, of course, is Dragon Empire. So it's funny that the main 3 characters is the main 3 clans that we like are a part of.
And I love how everybody has started the waifu wars already between Megumi and Tamari.
Yeah, like it. Blue showed me some of the cards for Brantgate, and I'm like, oh boy, what'd they do to my boys? And
All right, here. You know what? Before we end this, let's just talk about each of the looks of the trial decks real quick, and then I think we can put this to a rest.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So for example, like we've already dived into, like, we'll go to the main 3, just looking at the pictures right here. Like,
Yeah.
look at these. Like,
Bro, they didn't have to go this hard for the initial drop grade 3s, right?
and it's
There
funny
was
because
no-
this is not even his main grade 3. It's this guy right here, isn't it? Isn't this supposed to be like his main grade 3?
That's his ace unit, but yes, supposedly that's going to be his ace unit. I don't know. I think if you scroll down, right, scroll up just a little bit. All right, this is just a theory. This is my own personal theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know how they blocked out the name of that unit?
Yeah.
I think, scroll up a little bit. I think that's Nirvana.
Oh.
I think that card's name is going to be something like Chikapari Divine Dragon Nirvana and then something extra.
Uh-huh.
Right? I don't know per se, but I feel like it's going to be something connected to the Persona Ride mechanic, right? Because it says it shares names. I don't know if it's going to be complete names or if it's going to be like key names like Nirvana or Bruce or Bastion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get multiple different versions of the cards. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or if that's going to count, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think the Nirvana Dragon is going to have multiple different forms, and I think this right here is one of the forms. And that's why it's not called his signature card, it's called an ace card.
And then we look at the Stoicia and then the Brandgate ones, like, you know, like the Beast King, Magnolia, and the Seraph White, Battle Princess Seraph White. Like, I was getting excited for Brandgate until I saw the arc that's coming out. It's pretty much just a bunch of waifus in like police officer uniforms, and going from a player who used to be like Joker, who had these dark dragons with dark red black rings around them that locked units and everything, to this.
Oh shit, you just totally forgot and made me forget.
Oh. That's funny.
Hold up. I had a seizure and my computer kicked me. All right, you just reminded me of something. Yo, real quick, can you go onto Google Image, right? And just type in Cardfight Vanguard Overdress, right? Because, guys, we're not even hitting, like, the big bucks, right? The big news. Right, okay, scroll down, keep scrolling, keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. A little faster. Will not show?
Wait, I just saw
I
something about
guess.
Ultima. Oh, anime. I thought I said
No,
Ultima.
yeah, no, that. All right. Real quick. Actually, can you scroll back to the top and just put can you add Link Joker to the end of that?
Are you trying to find that one photo you found for me?
Yes.
Here, let me do this. Instead of Link Joker, what about if I do? No, I don't think it's gonna show up for me.
Here, you know what? If we don't play the video, it should be fine.
Mhm.
If you go to YouTube real quick,
Yeah, you can look it up and find a photo of it.
like YouTube, go on YouTube, like go on the video and just click on it and pause it so we can see it.
Of the trailer?
Yeah. All right, scroll down.
One second. It's this one right here.
No, it's not that trailer. The announcement one. Like you'll see, it's the one that shows like Blaster Blade and all of them.
One second.
The Rex. Okay. No, you're right there.
Which one? This one?
No, I was saying you scroll down, you go to that exact same spot, and you're like, right, you were at it.
This one right here?
No, down, go down, down, little bit
This one?
more. Stop. That your little mouse is on it.
This one right here?
Yes.
Oh, hold a second. This is
All right, there it is.
Whoa, hold a second.
Just go down a little bit.
It's this one.
Right there, you got it. Yeah. All right. So, yep. Fast forward it. Keep going. To when they finally like start showing off units. Like this shit right here, right?
Let's look over here.
Like they're
Because there's
they're showing up.
Brutus, there's the Catter Sanctuary, there's Stoatia, here is the Resters. Right,
Right
yep,
here.
right here.
Like start it a little bit and stop.
Wait,
Damn, it's so fast. Right there. Look at that beast. Like in the background. This is a confirmed Link Joker is going to be here, and
yes. Like that is
can't tell-
definitely
like until they come out with a name for this thing, right? I can't look at this as Chaos Breaker, right? Unless this looks like a Messiah version of Chaos Breaker.
Mhm.
I might as well. I'm just gonna nickname this the Order Breaker until we get a name for it.
And honestly, like these two units right here look like very, very
Star Vader.
Starvader.
Yes,
Like,
they
one
look
of 'em,
incredibly
This
Star
guy
Vader.
looks so much like Photon. Honestly, the guy on the right looks like
Yeah,
Photon.
yeah, he does.
And then the guy on the left, he looks like Radon. Remember Starvader Radon, that Legion
Yeah.
the beginning trial deck, like that. These two very give off Starvader vibes to it.
And here, oh damn! I was gonna say if you continue the video a little bit, you actually get revealed some Grand Blue units.
Oh yeah, you saw like some undead pirates and everything. Here we go. Let me do this. Let me go back to it. So like right there, like these are all definitely Grand Blue heavy.
And you actually can see it looks like Skull Dragon, to be honest. Like, pause. Like, look at the background to the left.
Yeah,
Right,
honestly,
yeah.
like yeah, like right here, this looks like Negro Doctor. This
No,
looks like
no.
one of the ghoul, regular ghouls and everything. Like,
Like, it's so great.
but like here's the Dragon Empire. Like it's just the Keter Sanctuary. Then you go into all this stuff right here. Like,
By the way, so I'm okay with the whole police force thing, right? Mainly because I feel like they're gonna have the lock mechanic because they're police.
Yeah.
Right, and they imprison their opponents. But to be honest, I think Stoicheia has the best looking starter.
Yeah. But yeah, that's. I think that's all our thoughts and how it's gonna go and what we're.
Like I can talk about Vanguard forever, but you know what? For the first time in forever, I'm not the one editing. So
It's not gonna.
stop it, Red. But hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Me personally, I am going to actually be doing a lot more card game based videos. Whenever I get products, I'm actually going to try to do unboxing videos. I would love if you guys ask questions. Like if you guys are, I would love to have talks with the card game community. Me personally, I'm going to do a lot of Vanguard stuff, but it doesn't mean this is going to be just a Vanguard solo channel. It's going to be a lot of card games, right?
And also if you guys are looking for like not only card games, but also like gaming stuff. I have strayed away from recording videos only because Brandon and I don't have as much time to actually sit down and edit stuff as much as we used to, as back as we used to. I've gone more to streaming. I will put down a link of what I stream with. I'm trying to stream at least once or twice a week from now on, from League to Hunt Showdown to a bunch of other games that we have. Brandon and I play Smite here and there together with each other. And honestly, it's a good time. You guys can always jump us out. You guys turn on the notifications of when you guys want, when you want to come watch us and everything. It's a grand old time. What I think this is a good spot to end it, because God, we could probably talk on for another 2 or 3 hours of talking about Vanguard, but we wanted to sum up of what we wanted to talk about, what we're excited for, what our hopes and dreams about what's going to happen to it. And I think that we have touched up most of everything. I think
I'm almost done. I'm almost free. I'm only going to be in the military for a small amount of time. And once I'm done, then I can really dive into making much, much more content. Right? And then you can finally see us, not just on the screen together, but next to each other.
I think they're going to be happy about me even just popping up in a video after, years of not showing up.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've popped up on the channel, but yeah.
But, hey, that was the final check. We didn't get a heal, so I guess the game's over. I hope you guys had a great time listening to us rant. I know it was supposed to be an overdress video, but we went up and beyond, and we always will. So,
oh yeah, and if you guys want more videos of where we go through it in depth on sets that come out and skills and everything, don't hesitate to drop a comment and tell us if you guys want us to do it like that. Do not hesitate with that.
We're doing this for fun, but if you truly want us to continue doing it, like I said, we're doing this for fun. We'll gladly do it.
If you guys want us to do like matchups and who would win, what's the setup, how our setups are going to be, what are we running, how are we running and stuff like that, don't hesitate to give us. And honestly, if I'm in the middle of streaming one day and you want to ask me some of those questions, and as I'm streaming it, I don't mind answering those questions. I honestly don't. Having a community where you guys can ask us questions about anything, honestly, is something that would be appreciated. I love talking to the community. I love the card game community, even though there's a lot of them that I do not agree with because there's a lot of toxicity in it too, but that's just the world that it's in itself. There's a select few people that I do know that would really do enjoy card games from their passion to that will want to spread the love of it.
I just got to tell this to my little players, all right? Yes, there is toxic players, but you know what the best thing to do is? Beat them at their own game.
Oh yeah, beat them at their own game with your
And if
bad
you guys
deck.
want, if you like this video and you guys actually request for more, we can tell you stories about how I beat a referee with a trial deck and various other stories. So,
Yep.
and then whenever we're free, we can. I mean, hell, we could even do Discord games against each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Done. Drop the key and everything. Love you guys to death. It's been an honor to be back on the channel again. Feels like forever since I've been on here. Honestly, it has been. And I'm glad
You
to be
get the
back on
honor.
it. So I forgot. I even forgot what our signing off thing was. It's been so long. It's such a long time.
Hey, you can end it how you want, man.
It's going to be from love and passion, from card games and everything on to you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want more of it, don't hesitate to give us a call. Don't hesitate to drop a comment, drop a like. You can tell us that we suck. You can tell us that you hate us, you love us, anything. Just have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. The world is changing. The world is changing for good, no or bad. Just stay safe. Be yourself. Don't let anybody change who you are. This is Red King signing off.
Keto, crítica trega.
And he signs off like an idiot. Have a wonderful night, everybody.